Some transactions in ACE Express produce a receipt. When evidence is transferred in or out, ACE Express makes a record of the transaction, but also keeps a record of the receipt in case it needs to be reproduced for any reason. Normally, the Reprint Receipt button, down here, is disabled. To reprint a receipt, you need to find an item that had the transaction where the receipt was produced originally. Every item that is transacted upon will create an item history. The item history can be seen in the results area beneath each item. Let's see if we can find an item like that. Here we have a submission number. We've got an item. As we can see, we have a long item history. To see what each transaction was, click the date in the results area, and the details area will reflect the transaction. As you scroll down, it will determine whether or not a receipt was required for that transaction. If one was, the Reprint Receipt button will be enabled down here. This was a transaction, was a transfer with the X out to other. So if we want to reprint the receipt, we just click the button. We can either print the receipt or preview it. Let's go ahead and preview it. We can see here, property return receipt. This is what was printed originally when the transaction originally occurred. You can see the items that were involved, in this case just one. And when you scroll down, you can see the rest of the receipt returned by Garrett Davidson and the receiving officer on this end, Lieutenant Thomas Tucker. You can go ahead and print that afterwards. As you move off that item, there will be other, that was a transfer out, more transfer records. Keep in mind that when you get to transactions that did not produce a receipt, such as these at the top, the Reprint Receipt button will continue to be disabled. It will only be enabled when you have selected an item history record that originally produced a receipt.